Welcome to Mythos AI, your source for Cliff's Notes on complex subjects. Join Anna and Phil for yet another engaging conversation.
Welcome back, everyone. In this deep dive, we'll be exploring the evolution of communication technology.
Yeah, focusing on three big innovations.
Telegraphy
Morse code.
and the NATO Phonetic alphabet.
You know, at first glance, they might seem pretty different, but they actually all share a common thread.
They do.
This drive for standardization as communication gets more and more complex.
Right, and why that matters for us even today.
Now, just imagine the world before the telegraph.
Yeah.
Messages traveled as fast as a horse or a ship or, a person could carry them.
Right.
We're talking days, weeks, or even months
Wow.
for important information to travel.
It's hard to even imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everything changed in 1844 with the electric telegraph.
Yeah.
Samuel Morse and Alfred Vail.
Mm-hmm.
They perfected this technology.
Right.
And their very first message,
That iconic message.
"What hath God wrought?"
Yeah.
traveled from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore in an instant.
Like, that's just incredible to think about the impact
Oh, absolutely.
that must have had.
This invention wasn't just some novelty.
Right.
It completely reshaped the way the world worked.
It really did. But,
Well, for one, news reporting became much faster.
Right?
With the rise of wire services like the Associated Press,
Mm-hmm.
businesses could suddenly make deals and transactions much quicker,
Yeah.
speeding up the entire economy.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the military, the ability to communicate in real time
Right.
was a game changer on the battlefield.
It's huge.
I mean, imagine coordinating troop movements or sending urgent orders almost instantly.
Yeah, that completely changes the game.
It does.
So the world suddenly feels much smaller,
Absolutely.
much more connected.
Yeah.
But this new speed of communication, I imagine, brought its own challenges.
You did.
Like, how do you transmit information quickly
Right.
and accurately over these telegraph wires?
Exactly. And that's where Morse code enters the picture.
Okay.
Named after, you guessed it, Samuel Morse.
Yeah.
Morse code used a system of dots and dashes to represent letters and numbers.
Interesting.
You know, this simple code was actually really ingenious.
I can see that.
It allowed telegraph operators to send and receive messages by ear
Really?
just by listening for the rhythm of the dots and dashes.
Wow.
And what's even more remarkable is that rhythmic structure
Okay.
made Morse code very reliable,
I see.
even when the transmission conditions were poor.
That's important.
Very.
Yeah, especially in those early days.
But imagine trying to send a message across a battlefield
Right.
or through a storm at sea.
Yeah, you need something reliable.
Exactly. And another thing about Morse code,
What's that?
its adaptability.
Okay.
It wasn't limited to just telegraph wires.
Oh, interesting.
It could be transmitted using light signals,
I see.
which was vital for ships at sea.
Right.
And it was later adapted for radio transmissions,
Wow.
which opened up even more possibilities for communication.
So we're talking about a really versatile system.
We are.
So this Morse code played a crucial role in warfare, right?
It did, especially in the Civil War and the World Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It was critical for both land and sea operations.
Mm-hmm.
Field commanders could use it to communicate with their troops,
Right.
and naval vessels could send messages to each other.
Yeah.
And to shore,
Makes sense.
the secure and reliable nature of Morse code
Right.
made it ideal for transmitting sensitive information during wartime.
Absolutely. And of course, we can't forget the iconic SOS distress signal,
Right.
still recognized globally today.
Yeah. The SOS signal perfectly encapsulates the enduring impact of Morse code.
I agree.
Its simplicity and universality
Yeah.
have made it a lifeline in emergency situations.
Yeah, you think about that.
You do.
Even though its everyday use declined with the rise of newer technologies, it remained a vital part of maritime communication
It did.
well into the late 20th century.
Yeah, and even today, it's still used by amateur radio operators around the world.
So it's still alive and well.
It is.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Morse code was a huge step forward,
Absolutely.
but it was still primarily for written messages.
Right.
But as voice communication over radio became more common,
Yeah.
a whole new set of problems emerged.
Like what?
Well, think about it.
Right.
Accents, dialects, background noise.
Well, yeah.
All these things can make it incredibly difficult to understand spoken words,
Right.
especially in situations where clear communication is absolutely essential.
I imagine this was a major concern for the military
Absolutely.
and in aviation,
Oh, huge.
where a simple misunderstanding could have catastrophic consequences.
Exactly. Imagine a pilot
Okay.
trying to communicate their position.
Right.
Or a soldier trying to relay orders in the heat of battle,
Yeah.
and their message gets garbled due to static
Oh, wow.
or misheard because of an unfamiliar accent.
Yeah, that's a huge problem.
It is the need for a standardized system
Right.
to overcome these linguistic barriers
Yeah.
became very clear.
This is where the NATO phonetic alphabet comes in. So instead of saying A for alpha,
Right.
we say alpha for A and so on.
Precisely. It seems simple,
It does.
but it was a game changer.
I could see that.
It really was a brilliant solution.
Yeah.
Born out of necessity.
Okay.
Developed in the early 1950s,
Uh-huh.
the NATO phonetic alphabet was the result of collaboration
Okay.
between military and civilian experts
Well, I understand.
from various countries.
And they came together
They did.
to solve this problem.
That's right. They carefully chose words that were
Hmm.
easily distinguishable,
Uh-huh.
recognizable across different languages and accents.
What kind of words?
Words like Bravo, Charlie, Delta.
Yeah.
These were designed to cut through the noise and confusion,
Uh-huh.
ensuring that critical information was conveyed accurately.
So the adoption of the NATO phonetic alphabet was pretty swift, right?
It was remarkably swift.
Why do you think that is?
Well, military organizations, aviation authorities, maritime services around the world, they quickly recognized its value and adopted it as the standard for clear communication.
Makes sense. And it's not just limited to those fields, is it?
It's not, think about emergency services, air traffic control, international shipping.
Right.
Any situation where clarity and precision in communication are paramount.
It's fascinating how a system designed for such specific high-stakes situations
Right.
has become so widely used.
I agree. You hear it in customer service technical support,
Yeah.
even in everyday conversations,
Yeah?
when people want to make sure they're understood clearly.
I do that all the time.
Me too. The widespread use of the NATO phonetic alphabet really speaks volumes about its effectiveness.
I agree.
You know, it demonstrates the power of standardization
Yeah.
in overcoming those linguistic barriers
Right.
and ensuring that communication is accurate and unambiguous.
So we've gone from the physical limitations of message delivery
Yeah.
to the challenges of encoding information.
Right.
And finally to the complexities of spoken language.
Exactly.
It's striking how each of these innovations, telegraphy, Morse code,
Yeah.
and the NATO phonetic alphabet,
Mm-hmm.
addressed a specific barrier to communication.
That's right. And what's really fascinating
What's that?
is that these seemingly disparate technologies are actually deeply interconnected.
In what way?
Well, they represent a continuous evolution,
Okay.
driven by the need for greater clarity, speed, and reliability in communication.
That makes sense.
Each innovation built upon the one that came before it,
Mm-hmm.
pushing the boundaries of what was possible,
Yeah.
and ultimately shaping the way we communicate today.
And this highlights, I think, a crucial insight,
What's that?
the importance of standardization.
Absolutely.
Each of these technologies succeeded because they provided a common framework,
Yes.
a shared language that everyone could understand.
That's right.
Without that shared understanding,
Yeah.
communication breaks down,
It does.
and the consequences can be significant.
Very much so.
Makes you wonder,
Yeah.
how these seemingly old communication systems
Right.
remain relevant in a world dominated by
Yeah.
the internet and mobile phones.
Well, their continued relevance is a testament to their effectiveness.
I think that's true.
You know, Morse code, with its simplicity and reliability, is
Right.
still a valuable tool
Yeah.
for emergency communication.
Uh-huh.
And the NATO phonetic alphabet continues to play a vital role
It does.
in ensuring clear communication
Absolutely.
in aviation, maritime operations, emergency services,
Right.
amongst others.
I think their enduring legacy goes beyond their practical applications, though.
I agree.
They serve as important reminders
Yeah.
of the fundamental principles that underpin effective communication. Standardization, adaptability,
Right.
a constant drive to innovate.
Mm-hmm.
These are the keys to overcoming communication barriers and connecting people across distances and cultures.
And these principles are even more critical today.
I agree.
As technology continues to evolve at an unprecedented pace,
Right.
the internet and mobile networks, the very backbone of our hyper-connected world,
Uh-huh.
rely heavily on standardized protocols to function seamlessly.
So it's fascinating to think that the lessons learned from the development of the telegraph,
Mm-hmm.
Morse code,
Yeah.
and the NATO phonetic alphabet
Right.
continue to inform the way we design and implement modern communication systems.
Absolutely. The challenges of ensuring clarity, speed, and security in
Yeah.
communication remain constant.
They do.
Even as the technologies we use continue to evolve
Right.
by understanding the historical context,
Yeah.
the innovations that paved the way for our current communication landscape,
Mm-hmm.
we can better address the challenges of today and anticipate those of tomorrow.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah,
it's clear that the evolution of communication technology is an ongoing journey.
it really is.
From the simple dots and dashes of Morse code
Right.
to the complex protocols that power the internet,
Mhm.
our desire to connect with each other has driven incredible innovation.
I completely agree.
The innovations of the past provide valuable insights into the principles of effective communication.
They do.
Principles that remain essential as we navigate the ever-changing landscape of communication technology.
That's right. The future of communication is sure to bring exciting new challenges and breakthroughs,
Definitely.
but the fundamental need for clear, reliable, and standardized communication will remain constant.
I agree.
By learning from the innovations of the past,
Right.
we can better shape the future
Yeah.
of how we connect and communicate with each other.
I think that's a great place to end it.
I do too.
Thanks for listening to Mythos AI. Stay tuned for more concise insights. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes.